There's breaking news here in Portland, Oregon, that the Oregon Jewish Museum has been vandalized. And I think it's really important to look at what happened and then to try to figure out why it is that this kind of vandalism is happening in 2025 America. I'm not quite sure why it took so many days for the details of this story to emerge in the press, but Tuesday of this past week, an unknown person vandalized the Oregon Jewish Museum and Center for Holocaust Education here in Portland. According to a story from Oregon Public Broadcasting today, August 3rd, museum employees were able to quickly document what had occurred, contact the police, they had camera footage, they filed a report, and they were able to successfully remove the graffiti from the building. The director of the museum said it is the first time that it has been vandalized. There have been other Jewish museums around the country that have experienced vandalism, but this is the first time for the museum here in Portland. Now, it's not the first time that a Jewish institution in Portland, Oregon has been vandalized. We don't actually have a very large Jewish population here, and there are only a few synagogues. But back in 2022, someone lit a fire outside of Congregation Beth Israel and defaced the synagogue itself with graffiti. Also, Portland police announced back in July that they were looking for a man who had vandalized a Jewish business in Northeast Portland. The response from the museum has been to request that more people come and visit the museum and come to downtown Portland in general, right? Having increased traffic, having people around, increased support tends to reduce the risk of vandalism. It creates a good deterrence effect. And I know that there are people who are going to be tempted to say that it was pro-Palestinian folks who were committing this kind of vandalism. First of all, we don't know who the suspect is. And I am not denying that there are people on the left, there are people who are opposed to what is happening in Palestine who have anti-Semitic sentiments. I have seen them firsthand online, anti-Semitic shit in my comments and in the comments of other creators. And I do think we are all well aware of the fact that people on the left are not immune to their isms, right? And also that there are hateful people who are co-opting the cause of Palestinian liberation or trying to end the genocide in Gaza in order to be anti-Semitic, right? They are using that crisis, they are using that famine and that genocide in order to get to be anti-Semitic with fewer ramifications on the internet. But I do think it's wild that the first place that people go when they hear there has been an anti-Semitic hate crime, there has been Yahtzee propaganda, swastikas painted on Jewish institutions, is to blame pro-Palestinian protesters. And I know there's like this weird contradiction amongst the fascist GOP in this country where you might be confused and you might be tempted to think like, oh, they are the party that cares about Jewish people. They are the party that is protecting Jewish people from anti-Semitism. I mean, after all, I know AIPAC is all over our government, but they really love the Republicans. It's the Republicans who are fully committed to Israel's mission of genocide in Gaza. It's Donald Trump who wants Gaza leveled and turned into a resort for the super wealthy. It's Donald Trump who has told Bibi Netanyahu to finish the job. So I know you could think like, oh, that must mean that they are in support of the Jewish people. That must mean that they are the ones we can trust to defend Jewish people from anti-Semitism. I know I've talked about it before, but the Christian nationalists in the Republican Party, including Mike Huckabee, the ambassador to Israel, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, they don't actually care about the Jewish people. They are using Israel. They are using Jewish people in Israel because they think it will accelerate their end times prophecy. They think that they can bring about the second coming of Jesus. And they also think that when that second coming happens, all Jewish people will convert to Christianity, or if they won't, they'll be thrown into the lake of fire. They don't actually care about Jewish people. They are using them. They are dehumanizing them in order to bring about their Christian nationalist vision, in order to bring about the apocalypse that they want to see happen within their lifetime. That's their goal there. And it's real weird to me that we are living in this time where the Republicans are claiming to be the party that cares about Jewish people, but also like Elon Musk is throwing up a Yahtzee salute. I know that folks wanted to call it a Roman salute, but we all know exactly what it was. We are seeing the fascist GOP push this like protecting Americans from anti-Semitism. I mean, Columbia University has done this. That's really just this way to cloak Islamophobia. It's just this way to quash support for Palestinians and to persecute Islamic people in the United States, especially international students. So we live in this weird time where the party that claims that it is supporting Israel and Jewish people is also like the Nazi anti-Semitic party, which like low-key makes sense if you understand that the Republicans don't actually care about Jewish people at all. They just want to use them to bring about their end times prophecy. Or if they're not a Christian nationalist, they want to use them in order to obliterate all of the Palestinian people so they can create a luxury resort in Gaza. I mean, the KKK supports Donald Trump. White supremacist groups like Patriot Front support Donald Trump, are emboldened by Donald Trump. They feel empowered to be out and proud about their white nationalism. That's not just their hatred of black and brown people, y'all. They hate Jewish people. So it's weird times that we're living in when the party that are like actively supported by Nazis and white supremacists are also being supported by a lot of conservative Jewish people. We can get back to that Rockland, New York lawsuit and how that little precinct of 524 people that all voted for Donald Trump were Orthodox Jewish. Right? There's this belief that Donald Trump must not be anti-Semitic because he supports Netanyahu and Israel, even though it's really more about two autocrats supporting each other, and it's really about how Donald Trump wants that land for his luxury resort. But we are living in a time in which Nazis are emboldened in all kinds of ways, not just to attack Jewish institutions here in Portland and around the United States. Did you see what happened yesterday?
Currently Nazis here at the New Hampshire State House, and I don't know if anyone's coming to fucking get these losers out of here.
I mean, here's another clip of white supremacists from yesterday in Concord. I mean, after all, what else would you expect when the leader of this regime sets the tone for the nation, for his Republican fascist party? And he said back in 2017 about the Unite the Right rally, about the white supremacists there, that they were very nice people. There's nothing about this regime that is making Jewish people safer. There is nothing about this regime that is going to protect any marginalized group at all. Donald Trump and the Christo-fascists, their support of Israel, has nothing to do with caring about Jewish people and everything to do with using them, because they're Yazis and they are anti-Semitic and they actually want their white nationalist Christo-fascist vision in the United States. And where do you think that Jewish people ultimately fall in that vision? So no, when I see that swastikas were spray painted on a Jewish museum here in Portland, Oregon, I'm not assuming that it is pro-Palestinian protesters. It's very clear what kind of people the Trump regime has emboldened to carry out these acts of hate and to get away with them. By the way, here then, did you notice that in that clip that those Nazis who were protesting had a sign about Trump and Epstein? Did you catch it? Their sign said, "Trump loves Epstein." I know I've talked before about fractures that are forming in the Republican base, but white supremacists, they don't like PDF files. I know a lot of that is based in their conspiracy theories where they think that it's Jewish people. They buy into those millennia-old conspiracy theories that Jewish people are the ones who are committing these crimes. That's part of the reason that they are so into the Epstein files, because Jeffrey Epstein was Jewish. It's just a continuation of their anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that they've believed for a long time. So I find it interesting that they're not happy with their guy. So we'll see how that plays out. But please understand, the reason that white supremacists are emboldened in this country has everything to do with Donald Trump. Hate is emboldened in this country. The agenda of this regime is instituting white supremacy across the board.